and happy Freedom Friday. For some, it's going to be kind of sad because I'm getting ready to tell you it's going to be my last Freedom Friday. At least the way I have it set up. So, I thought maybe Freedom Friday might hit the right crowd and take off and, maybe accumulate being something. It just hasn't. So here on out, if I got something to say, I'm just going to say it. But it usually ends up happening is I'll have a thought, come Monday morning, man, I got an idea for Freedom Friday, and something will come up, and literally the last second, my mind, something comes up, and my mind is completely changed, and I hit it, with a total different topic. And truthfully, this week is no different. I had a topic all week long I was planning on hitting on, and this morning, scrolling through Facebook before I get out of bed, and lo and behold, total mind change. So I was scrolling through Facebook this morning like I do almost every morning when I first wake up, and I seen a post from a girl I went to school with. Obviously we're not kids no more, but it was somebody that, growing up, I always just kind of seen as like the perfect person, I guess is the right way to say it. Never got in trouble. I think she was valedictorian or whatever you call it for the graduation. Just somebody I seen as, basically a perfect person. It's easy for you to say. Always, she was in the Bible clubs, anything to do with church, you've seen her in it. Never seen her cuss, never seen her at the parties, never seen her downtown cruising around on Friday, Saturday nights. So, I seen her make a post this morning, kind of mixing politics and Jesus. Saying that the Jesus that she knows wouldn't approve of what's going on in, I'm assuming, our country today. And that really kind of churned my heart a little bit. It was basically the first post I seen of the day. It's like, man, that's a real thinker there. And my response goes with something along the lines of, not everybody sees Jesus the same. I personally, as my own personal testimony, you say I can probably see Jesus way different than what she's ever has. And I kind of explained to her, at one point, when I was still in school, teenager, I actually had hopes and dreams of becoming a youth minister for a church. Preferably a church I belonged in, because why would I want to change things? But I actually had hopes and dreams of being a youth minister. And I can't say that anything other than my own personal beliefs pushed me away from it. See, I had this image of Jesus, this perspective of Jesus at that time, that he wanted, in order for him to forgive you for sins, you basically had to be a perfect human being. Which, me being a teenager, I was far from perfect. Long story short, basically, I left the church because I figured if I was going to hell, I was going to carry my own handbasket. See, I spent years, after I quit going to church, I spent years trying to be somebody that impressed other people, and I really started becoming somebody I didn't like. I was starting to rely more and more heavily on alcohol. I had Bible knowledge, and I learned how to use the Bible as a weapon and not for the good. So through the years, I became somebody I just didn't like, and I got to a point where I basically hit rock bottom, and I had the only thing I had to choose was either cry out to God for, direction, what I need to do, and lo and behold, that direction the wind come blowing the direction I needed to go, and that's where I went. So with my newfound walk that I have with Jesus, I have come out with a different perspective. I still believe in a disciplinary Jesus, but I also learned that there is a Jesus that has love and grace and forgiveness. And a lot of people, in my opinion, and this is what I told in that post, is people forget about the disciplinary Jesus. And I'm sorry if I'm struggling to talk today. It just kind of hit me real hard today. People forget about the Jesus that is disciplinary. The Jesus that went into the temple throwing tables and cracking whips because they wasn't using the temple the way it's meant to be used. They forget about the Jesus that said, "Go and sin no more." That is a forgotten Jesus. Yeah, we can love and, it's okay to be, do this or do that. It's okay. Jesus will forgive you. Yes, he will. But I also believe that he will try to correct you also. And it's up to you whether or not you're going to listen. So, I have landed in a church, and this is kind of a recent thing, within the past year or so. I've landed in a church where the preacher don't get up and, jump up and down, yell and scream and everything else, trying to push a topic into your head. He gets up there and calmly reads you the Bible and explains it. And currently we're in the book of Judges. And the book of Judges is a repetitive thing. The Israelites quit doing things the way God intended. And they fall into the hands of their king. And then God provides a judge. And it's not a judge in a robe. It is a judge that pulls them out of their captivity that they are in. And I kind of feel like, in a roundabout way, that kind of sums up how I was living. I fell into captivity that I didn't want to be in. And I had to cry out for relief, rescue. So I kind of told this girl, I said, maybe you need to look at it in a different perspective than what you want to look at it as. And stop and ask what God's plan is with what's going on. Are we at a point where enough people have cried out for help and God's trying to help us, or are we being delivered into the wrong hands for the people to cry out for help? I think we're all guilty in some way or form of having our own image of Jesus. I mean, we all do. We have our own understanding of Jesus. And we have the Jesus that we want everybody to know, which is our Jesus, our God. But we don't sit back. We don't follow the wind that God is blowing for us to set our sails to. I believe that if we stop and listen, God will point us in the direction that we need to go. He will explain what's going on. I personally believe that, everything that's happened in my life was part of God's plan. that was kind of my answer to her is, stop doing what you believe and stop and pray and ask God what his plan is. Try to understand what his plan is. It's never going to be easy, and we can't correct it on our own. All we can do is listen and do our best to act it out. And I'm sorry for those that want to say that, life is a free-for-all because Jesus will forgive us. I can't believe that. That's not the Jesus that I read in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Revelations. So I guess you can throw Acts in there too. But that's not the Jesus that I've seen. I've seen a Jesus that forgives us of our sins. I've also seen a Jesus that showed love and grace and disciplinary actions when necessary. Personally, I think too many people rely on mainstream media for politics. They rely on mainstream religious television for religion. They end up relying on people that make a lot of money off of selling devotionals for their views on life. And I guess, when I was fresh back in my walk, I went to the devotionals. I did everything I could, and I used the free stuff. But there are a lot of people that go out and buy these books, devotional books, and there are a lot of people out there that do these devotional books to make a profit. And they act like they're prophets. Just a little thinking in the morning. We're going to go get our day started. I've already talked too long. But from here on out, we're speaking our mind when we want to speak it. We're not just waiting until Friday. So let's go get our day started. Nobody stole the rocks last night. Dadgummit. And I will add, in no way am I trying to push religion on anybody. I'm telling you about what I believe in. I can't force you to believe in what I believe. But I do believe, even if you don't believe, that God will, in the book of Revelations, it says that Jesus will come knocking. And it's up to us to answer the door. So, and that's what I believe. I don't know how long he's going to knock. He might be hitting that doorbell. He might be jumping up down like the monkey in the cage. I don't know. But I'm not going to force you to try to believe what I believe. I'm just going to tell you how I believe. The rest is up to you. I had my whole harassment plan for today for the skill house lady, and she wasn't even here today. It was a different one. Hey, Jimmy. Alright, on to the next one. Gotta be. Get pallets and plates. People will see some of the stuff I haul and be like, how in the road you don't lose that stuff on the road? You gotta flick the strap. Get a little closer here. Then you gotta say, that ain't going nowhere. Chicken time! We made it back. We gotta go get ready for the little one's birthday party. Both of them. One just turned 4, the other just turned 5. So we got their birthday party. So I gotta go turn up my paperwork and go to the party. Woohoo! Get a hold of your trash, Billy. There you go.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. We sound like in the thing. Ooh, ooh. And what means she lying?